Hey guys, so we are back with the little videos that I've been doing talking about book tropes. If you guys have not checked out my other video regarding book tropes, you can check it out up there. But today I'm going to be talking about book tropes that I don't like. This is not to say that I wouldn't read a book with that trope in it. It's just to say that if I came across it, I would be annoyed, or it would be like, okay, and these book tropes are kind of on this list either because they are just overdone, or I've never found them to be done well, or I just don't like them. So, starting off strong, I don't really like the chosen one trope. Um, I don't know. I don't know. It's something about it. And like I said, I'm sure there have been some good books or good movies or good TV shows that I have personally watched that I enjoyed and it had that trope in it. Totally possible. But I think I more so enjoy books that don't have like, oh, she was destined for this, or oh, he was made for this. Like, reluctant heroes are more interesting. Um, Maybe heroes that are like a group of people, like that to me is more interesting when it just seems as if it was super random, or happenstance that they are the ones that have to kind of slay the dragon, however you want to call it. um yeah, I just think it's more, I mean, obviously realistic is kind of hard to put when it comes to heroes, because usually you're talking about a mystical world, a fantasy, a sci-fi. But I do feel like it just feels more real when it is a reluctant hero, because I feel like that's how people would act in real life, even if it is a mystical world. Like, I don't want to be in your little journey to do whatever. So I don't know, it's just a trope that I personally think is overdone, and would rather find other books that don't follow that trope. Another book trope that I do not like is the idea of like having amnesia or memory loss. I really hate that trope. I really do. Because you're like, well, it's honestly that kind of book trope couples in with the unreliable narrator. Like, I would definitely put those in the same kind of vibe, because at the end of the day, if you have amnesia or memory loss, you don't know who to trust. Your own thoughts as the reader, you don't know if you could even trust your narrator at this point. You don't know what's going on, you don't know what's real, you don't know what's not. So when it comes to reading books, I don't enjoy it, but I will say that I have enjoyed a good movie or two with memory loss. But something about a book, it's just like, I don't like it. Like, ugh, I don't know. I think it's because the book format, it takes longer to get through. A book is like 8 hours of reading, whereas you can pop out a movie in 2 hours quick. So I feel like we move through the paces of the story way quicker, so I enjoy it more, versus a book. You could be spending 4 hours worth of that book with your character not knowing what's going on, whereas in a movie, it probably won't surpass an hour. So that's kind of my thinking as to why I like it differently in different mediums. um, Also, I don't like the idea of a time loop or like Groundhog Day. I hate it so much. Oh my gosh. There's this book, I don't have it because I totally covered it. There's this book, it's like a YA contemporary, and it was about that. And I mean, don't get me wrong, the very ending where like finally, the days stop re-happening, like that ending was very satisfying to me personally. But I still pretty much disliked that whole reading experience, because it just felt like I was waterboarded with the same scenes. And obviously they make different decisions that come with different outcomes, but it just still feels stagnant to me. And I feel the same way when it comes to movies. Like, I really don't like a Groundhog Day or like a time loop kind of thing. I just don't think those are like interesting, and I always feel like they last way longer than they should, and so I just really don't like them. um yeah, let's see. Okay, so something else that I don't like, which I don't read a lot of this because I'm not a romance reader, so thankfully I don't have to ever kind of put myself in those situations to read a lot of those books in that context. But I don't like reading books with incel love. Um, I just don't. And I do think there's a difference between like insta love and like, oh, there's attraction, da 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 da. You know what I mean? Because when you are looking at insta love, like that stuff just comes out of left field, and it's like, why are you obsessed with her? Like, can we slow down? Can we calm down? Can we not do all of that? Because I feel like, your characters just start falling in love when there's have only been a few interactions, maybe even only one interaction. And for me personally, it just feels very unbelievable and very hard to like fathom. And when I'm reading a book and it feels cringy, or when I'm reading a book and it feels fake, it's hard for me to care about the book. Like, it's very hard for me to do that because love takes time, it takes energy, it takes effort, it takes communication, it takes to know a person. You have to know a person, first of all, guys, come on. So I just don't like insta love. I think it's just really stupid. So yeah. Let me think. Something I don't like. I don't read a lot of books like these, but I feel like whenever you're reading a teen book, YA, and the setting is like primarily in a school, you're always going to run into those tropes of like, oh, like the side character that doesn't really have any meaning, but like the side character that's like, oh, I'm a dumb blonde. I hate those characters with a passion. And it's crazy because I don't hate them. I hate the writer. I hate the writer for even making them like that. Because at the end of the day, no one is only one dimensional. No one is. That's just not how people are made. That's not how we think. Do you know what I mean? And one thing that I want to kind of build upon that is, it makes me think of the Vampire Diaries, and how if you go back into your noggin of the first episode of that TV show, we get introduced to Caroline, who is in my top 5 favorite characters in that show. She is definitely very easily stereotyped as a dumb blonde, bratty, shallow, just like very easily you can just add those traits onto her very quickly from that very first episode. But as time moves on, no spoilers, but as we continue with the seasons and we get to know her as a character, she's obviously not that person. That's just not her. I mean, even the very last scene of the first episode, she's literally depressed because she's saying how, she went after a boy and the boy didn't want her, the boy didn't like her. And that kind of just goes to show a little bit of the emotion behind the reasoning of her actions, and the kind of portrayal that she puts, the front that she puts out to others. And I just really hate when you get introduced to like a dumb blonde character and they never get built upon, like ever, especially if they happen to be in the book for like a long period of time. I just feel like it's sloppy. It's sloppy, and you're wasting an opportunity to show us behind the curtain of a character. So there's that. Also, I hate this is for real life too. The I'm not like other girls girl. And that is really the fault of the writer. So whenever you're opening a book and the writer starts off by saying, "Oh, she was gentle and she was small and she was frail and she was beautiful, but she didn't know she was beautiful." And she would never hurt anyone. And just like when you started off with that, I just immediately don't want to read it because it feels so stupid. It feels so stupid to me. I just don't like it at all. I just really hate when you put a person in a box and you stay there. That's the worst thing you can do when you're trying to tell a story, move a plot. You have to build upon your characters. So I really hate, when a female protagonist is constantly kind of like, they emphasize the fact that how different they are from like other women. I don't know. I just find that to be kind of like, I find that to be shallow, or I find that to be reaching. Like, okay, calm down, take a breath. And it can definitely feel as if whether the writer is doing this or whatever's going on, we're like, they're kind of pitting female against female, and it's very unnecessary, and it doesn't really make a book better, in my opinion. And the very last book trope that I want to talk about that I do not like to read about is when you have a character, usually a main character, who they are like flawed, but they're perfect. And it's like this weird way of a writer trying to, you know, show, oh, they have so many flaws, but in reality, the writer is writing them to be perfect. And it's just really hard for me as a reader to believe that. It's hard for me to connect with that because it just leaves me feeling very annoyed because no one is like that. That's just not real life, guys. We all like crazy, and we're all multifaceted, and we all have good days and bad days, and we've all been horrible to people, and we've all been great to people. Let's be honest with ourselves. And so sometimes characters can just be written very exaggerated, or they can have flaws that just aren't that big of a deal, that, you know, you're meant to believe it's, oh, it's such a big thing, but it really isn't. And it's almost like this is the writer's way of creating a perfect character, a perfect main character, and then giving them these like very quibble kind of flaws that mean nothing, but for some reason in that world it's like the biggest thing that could ever be wrong with you. And I really think it's just annoying to read. That's all I'll say. It's annoying. I'm annoyed. Yeah, so those are all the book tropes that I don't enjoy reading. I hope you guys peeked the fact that I did not include the pregnancy trope because I love that trope. To my grave, to my grave. You can put it in a book, you can put it in a movie, you can put it in a TV show. I will eat it up. Y'all don't understand, okay? I feel like you guys aren't looking at the big picture. When there's a pregnancy trope, it just makes the story 10 times better because whatever world you're in, could be fantastical, could be modern, the world could be ending, whatever the case is, a baby having a pregnant person in whatever kind of world you all are imagining makes the plot 10 times better because either, you know, they have a new character they have a character they have to actually like truly protect and keep safe. And then, you know, if the world is ending, then you gotta worry about, okay, how the hell are we gonna take care of a baby? Or if we're in the modern world, we have to worry about, okay, you know, what am I gonna do with this relationship now that I'm pregnant? I don't know what to tell you guys. It's just realistic and it adds drama. And that is what I like in a book. Drama. I like the drama. I like the tea. I like the tea. What can I say? Alright guys, but thanks so much for watching and let me know down below if you have any video ideas for me. Alright,